We're here sitting on the couch with Pete because of how kind he is. We saw a movie. This is all we do is movies. I'm Donny. That's Pete. That's Joe back there. Joe, come up. Joe. He's not coming up. We gotta do a new intro.
It's my time of the year, y'all. And I love working in customer service because at every job I've ever worked at, people have been like, your name is Noelle. It's the season for you. As you change your name every season.
Right. This is all we do is movies. I'm Donnie. That's Pete. That's her.
That's my intro, and you better keep it or I'm going to kill you.
Yep. So we saw a movie.
Which is what I'm about to be, y'all.
What?
A widow. But
How's that happen?
because someday I'll marry you and then you'll be murdered.
Anyway, we saw a movie by Steve McQueen, not the guy that drove that car. Another one that directs movies. And we saw it, and we're back at it. All we do is movies yet again.
I don't think he understands that you don't have to yell into the microphone.
I'm out of breath from yelling. I call that poutine I ate earlier.
And because you're plantar fasciitis.
I do have plantar fasciitis because I'm an extreme athlete, and I ran on a treadmill a couple days in a row, and it hurts my feet. So now I got to ice my heels in ice water for like 10 minutes. So there you go, world. We saw Widows, and I guess we'll talk about Widows. Steve McQueen and Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer wasn't in that.
What's her name?
Gabrielle Union.
That's racist.
So is Octavia Spencer.
All right, I guess I gotta look it up now. Pause. And we're back. It's not Octavia Spencer, it's Viola Davis, her twin.
They don't look alike. That's racist.
Nope, they look very similar.
That's racist.
Anyway, Octavia Spencer.
Stay with me, please. I don't want to be sitting next to him.
Pete, are you getting up?
Please.
Oh my God. Dog, we can't do this.
Yes, we can. It's perfect. Just talk. You can get backwards. He give you enough room. Go. No. No.
Oh my God.
I want to sit with Pete. I don't want to sit with Donnie.
Oh my God.
I wanna sit
Octavia
with Pete.
Spencer. What's her name?
You just said it. I'm not going to say it again.
Viola Davis.
It doesn't matter who's in the film because it's about women. So pretty much anyone with a vagina could have been in this film, and America would have went wild.
Okay, anyway, all we do is movies. We saw Widows.
Let's just do 5 words so I can get through with this.
Viola Davis.
Word number 1, disappointing.
Masterpiece.
Flawed.
Perfection.
Non-emotional.
Intricate.
Phony.
Diverse.
And like a Trojan horse, whatever that would be.
Empowerment. This movie blew my socks off.
This movie made me feel like as a woman, I can really do anything, even though I'm doubted at every turn.
Yeah, they couldn't. No, everyone thought they couldn't pull off this heist
Because they didn't have the balls.
Yeah, they didn't have the balls, or like 3 extra crew members and like years and years of experience, like doing low level jobs. Yeah.
And a plan.
Right. No, but they knew how to. They did a heist, and no one thought they could. So
no one thought they could, even though I didn't see anyone really doubt them, but they said that they
were doubted the whole time.
There was not one person in the film who was like, you can't do this.
Okay, well, we got a lot to say, but spoiler free. This movie's about like a group of high-level thieves that, spoiler alert, die in the first minute of the movie, and then their widows have to somehow do some heist.
Spoiler free. This movie is like as I said, it's a Trojan horse of female empowerment. And what I'm getting really sick of is all of these people telling me, the media, presenting to me what I should feel empowered by. I think that as a human, not just as a woman, as a human, I should be able to make my own decision on what makes me feel empowered. Instead, what I'm getting is the media outlets who are paid to say, oh, this movie is all about women and it's so empowering and they're so strong and smart and beautiful. And oh my God, it's going to change the tell me what I'm going to be empowered by, because not all women are the same.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it all the time. They do it all the time now.
You're
for women
crazy.
And for people of other races.
Whoa.
And for, like, people of other genders. It doesn't matter.
Whoa.
What you are. They'll tell you how to be empowered. But I
You're
wasn't
walking
empowered
a
by this.
tightrope here. You're scaring me. Because this movie, I thought, was just a genius.
Listen, I think that I can pull off a heist any day that I want. I don't need a movie to tell me that I can do that, because I know that I can pull off a heist. And I'm not saying that like to be sarcastic or funny or whatever. I'm being serious. So I don't need a movie to tell me that I can shoot someone with a gun.
You don't need Viola Davis to be like, I'm telling you everything that is happening now.
There's a Sarah Silverman quote. I'm going to mess it up, so just look it up.
Oh, my God.
But anyway, Sarah Silverman was doing a stand-up show, and she was like, stop telling little girls that they can be whatever they want, because then they would never question if they could. And that's like these movies. Stop telling us that we can pull off heists even though all of our husbands are dead, because we would have never thought before that we couldn't pull off heists.
Yeah.
Tell me what I can do, because I know that I could do it. I don't need Hollywood to write me a script and then pay a bunch of other people to put it all together, and then a makeup team and hair and lights and cameras.
Grip.
I don't know.
Catering. Teamsters.
Anyway, the people in the theater thought it was really empowering.
Oh, my
for
God.
Me, so.
That's what we might get to later with spoiler moments, but yet another reason why I guess I'm going to have to build a home theater, and they need to do day of releases digitally without any sort of compression, because movie theaters are, you can't even, when did we even go? We went to like a matinee,
the
right?
earliest showtime you could go on a Sunday for a movie that has been out for about 2 weeks.
And it wasn't like, popcorn Avengers. It wasn't Lego Batman's.
Wasn't like 12-year-olds or 17-year-olds.
Yeah, it wasn't the
grown-ass
Grinch.
people who should know how to operate.
It's old people. We were the youngest people there.
We thought we were fine.
Yeah, and we're like, this is going to be a good movie. But no, people have to talk. They have to be. Oh, that just happened on the screen. It's I say it all the time, but it's whenever people couldn't read in their head, they had to read everything out loud. These people have to talk their way through a movie, and everyone sat there and took it, and they shouldn't have to. But then you feel bad because then you're gonna, oh my God, get shot by these people. I'm sure because they're crazy enough to shoot you.
These people, like, they don't see it as a problem. So if
No.
you talk to them about how they're speaking in a film, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because to their mind, it's not an issue.
It's crazy.
You're the issue because you're calling them out.
But the whole movie, oh my God.
This is what I think we have to do, okay? I think that what you have to do is you have to have a preferred moviegoer pass, not movie pass, because
But we did get movie pass for this one.
Okay, that's not the point.
And that's not a good point, because even though I was saying that it's a great movie, it's not. Movie Pass lied to us.
What I think movie theaters should do, hear me out, movie theaters, I will go to your movie theater all the time if you do this. You have to screen individuals.
Yeah, TSA pre-check.
Before they go to the movies, and then you have
Yes.
screenings that can only be those individuals.
There
you
you go.
People who are going to sign a contract and say, I commit to being silent. I'm not going to eat popcorn or anything else, any kind of bagged candy or any kind of
Yeah,
pop.
they were also opening some sort of impenetrable chip bag or something that was like, and it's like, it's intricate. And this movie also, spoiler free, not super heisty really at all, but not intricate. Sorry, meditative like moments of like, oh, my husband's dead. I'm gonna look out this window at my reflection, I guess. But then you hear, well, she's mad because her husband died. And we're like, thank you, lady. That did just happen. You're right. And she's like, well, that's why she's sad, because she went to a funeral just before. And we're like, yeah, we just saw the funeral. Thank you, lady. It's almost like someone should have stood up and was like, well, thank you. I missed that whole 10-minute long scene where they're at a funeral. So thank you for reminding us of the plot.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, in this perfect future that I have, I will pay extra money so I can go into a theater that is guaranteed to have no sound. And if you do make
That'd
a
be
sound,
great.
you get a finger chopped off.
You get
Every
shot
time.
with a airsoft gun
No.
from the
It
rafters.
has to be permanent. They take an eye.
They take a finger.
They take a tooth. They take a finger. You can't just shave your head.
Solomon's Code.
I don't know what that means, but I support it.
Eye for an eye.
I support it. If you talk in this
They
film,
cut out your tongue.
yeah, you will never talk again.
That's great.
There you go. So, yeah, spoiler free. I don't like this movie, and it's dumb.
Yeah, spoiler free. It's a really bad movie from a really good director, Steve McQueen.
Spoiler
I like
free.
him a lot, but man,
Everyone online is praising this movie for nothing.
yeah. You look at some of those comments, and I don't even know if maybe they saw a different movie. That maybe there's two versions of this movie, and it's some sort of social like a Belko experiment. And we
never talked about. We should just talk about that movie right now.
And we were supposed to kill ourselves after watching this. Anyway, spoilers ahead for the best movie of the year.
What I think happened is that whenever you saw this film, you got so bored that some people online just played a different film in their heads.
Yeah.
They just made up what they wanted to see.
Yeah, maybe that was a blank slate film.
Tabula rasa.
Yeah, maybe coming back. Spoilers. Yeah, maybe people just, they really wanted to see, but I don't even, because the trailer wasn't, and that was disconcerting too, because when we saw the trailer, not a good trailer at all. Kind of a bad trailer.
Okay, but like you see the trailer and you hear about the story and you think from who it was made by,
yeah,
it's going to be really serious, it's going to be really deep, it's going to be really emotional, and I'm going to feel a lot for these characters, but none of that, well, it was just really serious. It wasn't deep.
It's serious.
Wasn't emotional because the people who were portraying the emotions didn't do a good job of it.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about the characters. I'm going to get right into spoilers.
Do it!
Let's talk about Viola Davis real quick.
Viola Davis, a.k.a. Liam Neeson's wife.
She's supposed to be like the head honcho of this film.
She's the mastermind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Liam Neeson was the head of because she had to take over.
So, I'm not going to read the quote. It's fine. I remember it. It's fine.
Okay.
So, one of the reviews from The Ringer online, I've never visited that website, but it had a favorable review of this film. And it was saying about how these ordinary women came together to do something that no one said they could. But tell me how major thief's wealthy wife who wears expensive ass clothes all the time and looks like Viola Davis and is apparently smart because she's also some kind of politician for teachers' rights. How is she ordinary in any sense of the word? And that was one of the main cornerstones of this film, is that all of these women are supposed to be like ordinary women out in the world who came together to like do something crazy.
Yeah.
But none of them are ordinary. The Polish girl's like 8 feet tall, and she's gorgeous, and she speaks another language, and she can shoot a gun perfectly.
Yeah, they do a great job right away. Yeah, that jumping forward to that scene where they are doing the shooting range thing, she's really good at shooting for the very first time, but Michelle Rodriguez isn't. And you would think maybe that would come around in any way, but it doesn't. So don't worry about that. That was just a scene. Doesn't matter at all. But I guess that was supposed to be funny.
So I guess maybe we shouldn't talk about the characters first. We'll just get to that. So they, it's like when you first get there, it was really stylistic, and
the very beginning was the best part.
It was fine.
The heist with Liam Neeson and his crew. They just stole some stuff, and they're driving, and they're trying to shut the doors, but the doors break off, and the police are, and it's all shot from inside the van, and looks, it's like an interesting shot at least.
But it's interspliced with scenes the scenes of the families, right? So
you know who's who.
But the scenes of the families, it would have been really effective if some of the scenes were a little bit longer, because we meet the one girl who was the one who was married to some guy, and they were in the kitchen and they had a baby. Oh, we didn't get to her yet. Never mind.
Yeah, she's
anyway,
the
it was
other
just
one.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, no, the
best part was fine.
They set up real quick, and then they kill off the husbands real quick. And so you have no idea you sort of catch oh yeah, there's Michelle. Oh yeah, there's this other person. Okay. But yeah, they go blow by him real quick. What they could have done was maybe spread that whole sequence out in flashbacks through the whole entire movie, maybe, or something, and sprinkle more exposition through that and give it a little more time. But no, you have to keep shoving plot points about, and then immediately jumps to about politics.
Well, they also
and all that stuff.
Really quickly, which I understand the progression of things. Heist, death, funeral. So they went to the funerals. But they spent so much time on this funeral where we all know what to expect from a funeral. So there's no reason to show me 3 other fucking funerals, because I know I've been to funerals. I know what they're like. So show me more about the background, or I don't know. Just I don't need to see the funerals. I know they died. I know they're gonna get buried. I know everyone's sad.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the setup. So then
long. It was long.
And then theoretically, it's we're set up, and then they need to make money, and in this case,
they need to make money because there's a politician in town who is gonna fight against Colin Farrell to
the white people. Boo.
Whites.
Don't like them. I don't like them.
And so Colin Farrell was in a team up with Liam Neeson, and they ran the town.
Yeah.
And so now the new politician is going after
who lives there.
Right.
And that's the selling point. Even though he's a poor black dude in his family, he's going to represent the what you presume is a overwhelming black community, but you never really see that. You just kind of are led to believe it's a poor town. You kind of see it later with out of all things, the Colin Farrell little thing that he sets up, where it's Colin Farrell seems kind of nice. I don't get, okay, whatever. But then Viola Davis needs to pay off the underdog
money
guy.
That Liam Neeson stole, so it was $5 million.
Yeah, so apparently
$2 million. She's rich. She lives in this amazing penthouse.
Amazing house.
Jewelry.
Art,
really nice
giant art, original pieces on canvas.
And so the other politician comes and says, "You owe me $2 million." And so Viola Davis's answer was, "I guess I'll just steal $5 million."
Yeah, instead of selling, I don't know, 3 of my paintings and
some
one of these sculptures, and then you're good.
No, I'm gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
Because why? There would be no movie if we didn't do something crazy. So now we have to do something crazy.
So there's no other incentive there's no weird wanting to test yourself. Maybe would have been an interesting motivation to do this.
There's no sorry, go ahead.
No, but that's the thing. She gets his book for planning because he leaves it to her because that's his plan was to give her the book so she can sell the book.
Which he never tells her to do that, by the way.
She's supposed to just infer that. But she uses that to then decide to do the heist. But it's only based off of the fact that she needs the money. So it's built out of desperation. Right. So that's not an empowering, like,
no.
You know what? Like, where she'd be like, hey, my husband can do it. And wouldn't have been cool, like, to see more flashbacks with them, and maybe Liam Neeson's like, look, this is a tough life, and I can't have you.
Like maybe she wanted to help him before.
Yeah, she's like looking in the book early, and he like closes it, and he's like, this isn't a life for you, laddie.
She's like, but I can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. Anything like that, but no, she has to be like, well, I guess I got to make
backed into a corner, and I'm afraid.
And now I got to tie these other people who don't want to do it. They don't want to go on a heist. No one wants to go on the heist. She doesn't even really want to go on the heist. And there's no motivation to do that.
But she was even gonna, like, blackmail all of her new friends to be like, well, if he's going to come after me and you don't help me, you know he's going to come after you too. So everyone's doing this, like, out of fear.
Yeah.
And it's not, like, also what they could have done, which that would have been good, you know, like they've wanted to help all along. But another way they could have taken it, just out of many, is that it could have been like, you know, I love my husband so much, and this was his last thing.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna finish his work.
Yeah, and that's how you sell it to the other people. Like, look, our husbands were doing this thing. Like, I think we can do this and make a ton of money. Like, that's at least more interesting than having this guy want to shake you down for $2 million,
which you can come
and
up with.
then you have and she's not poor. Would have been more interesting if she's poor and her back's against the wall, and then she has to do it. That's how that setup works. Is when you have no other options but to do this. But she had many other options, so then it doesn't make sense for her to do this crazy thing. But then it's like, well,
we need to make a movie.
Women can rob stuff too, and it's like, yeah, we know the end, but it's like, no, you didn't believe us that women could do this too. It's like, well, of course. Why, if you wrote this story,
you can make anyone do it. You can make a chimpanzee do it if you write the script.
That would be an even better movie. Chimpanzee heist.
There you go.
Easy.
Anyone can do anything when you put it on paper. It's not brain surgery.
But that's
you could do brain surgery if you put it on paper.
But the compelling part is actually making it compelling. Like, you got to have a reason for it, and she didn't have a reason for it. And then the other people didn't have a reason for it either. Like, the person with the most character arc is the Polish blonde model chick.
Okay.
Because she gets her
that.
mom sells her into sex slavery.
No.
And that, like, at least she has an arc. Viola Davis is just like, well, I'm rich and I'm angry, and now I'm still rich and I'm angry, and we're gonna have these meetings about the heist, and I'm rich and I'm angry.
Okay.
And it's like, Viola, you still rich and angry? Let me guess, you haven't changed at all.
So let's talk about the Polish girl. Polish girl was by far the most endearing moment in this whole film. I loved her. I liked her character, but it's another cop-out, because what people like to see for women who are strong and empowered at the end is they like to make them abused in the beginning. So another really easy thing to do with your character, if you want them to seem weak and like understated and all that, is just hit them. And every character that this Polish girl
came in slapped
contact
up
with was physically abusive to her.
It's true.
I understand. That's the thing that happens in the world all the time. But it just feels like a cop-out whenever everyone in this Polish girl's family just keeps hitting her. Because, you know, eventually she's going to be like, I won't be treated like this anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I could see that coming from a mile away, because you're going to stand up for yourself and, I don't want to be abused anymore. Well, no, of course you don't want to.
Well, then that's really telling about the movie, because that is the most like compelling story arc.
That is it.
Is the most basic, stereotypical, plain story arc.
Is the lyrics to a Red Jumpsuit Apparatus that came out in 2007 is the most compelling part of this film that came out in 2018. So
wow.
Put that in your book.
Yeah, it just gets
lazy.
It's
lazy.
And it's just filled with like just non-important like plots.
Real cliches.
Like the dude from Get Out was like an interesting villain, but he didn't need to be there. So like all the where he like shot the two guys that were rapping.
Oh yeah. So we roll up. No
Doesn't
context.
make sense at all.
Roll up in this like this locker room. And
it's like a gym, like a school gym.
In a school gym, and you hear people rapping from the outside, and then they get shot.
Yeah, I guess they were working for Daniel Kalululua or whatever his
Maybe
name.
they were hiding in the dumpster, but like if you're hiding in the dumpster,
why are you
yelling,
rapping?
If you were so afraid of these people, you wouldn't be rapping. You would be quiet in the dumpster.
And that's the thing. Like this whole movie, you're like, okay, so who do I like? Because I'm supposed to, I guess, like Viola Davis, but she's so cold and like
stupid.
And she's not dumb, but she's like dumb. Like she's not stupid, but she's just like, it's like this is the first, like literally this book is the first thing that you're like, I guess I gotta go on this crazy heist that I have no experience doing. Like that's so ridiculous. Like at least have her, and what I was thinking too, like at least have someone in the group, especially if you're selling this idea of like no one thought they could do it and then they did it. Why don't you have them, at least someone in their 3-person group, get caught like stealing something little or like doing something and getting caught first, but like nothing ever goes wrong ever.
Everything works out
like super, like getting the guns, like that whole thing. It's like you got to get guns and you got to get and then they put it all on the Polish girl to do all this stuff, which is weird. Like, okay, I guess she's the main star, but they had to flip it to Viola when they got Viola Davis. I don't understand because she does all the like actions of planning this thing, but gets like none of the credit. But between getting like the hardest thing was her bidding on a van, which was like, oh, I don't know which van to get, and then some guys like, you should get that van.
Oh yeah, and then there's this guy who's a mansplained to her like what kind of van you should get this one because the inside's actually you don't get that one because it's actually junk and it's cheap. And
it would have been interesting if the van that he told her to pick like got messed up. Wouldn't that be interesting?
That guy.
Yeah, but
How can you trust him?
Van works out great.
Everything's fine.
She goes to buy guns at the best place to buy guns at a gun show. They'll just give you. They give away guns. You enter a raffle and they just give you a gun.
So there's this part where she goes to the gun show to get 3 Glocks, and they show her pulling out
gun,
her
by the
fake
way.
ID. And it says like her fake name is like Jennifer something. And then she looks at her ID, and I guess from that we're supposed to infer that she can't use it because it's fake. But I guess. I think she could have used that.
100%, yes.
Yeah, she probably didn't even need ID to get those guns.
No. That's at a gun show.
So she went up to this like Midwesterner woman, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a Polish wife.
Yeah,
and
she puts on an accent
because I'm afraid of my husband." And then this little girl who's with the Midwesterner wife is like, "Mama, didn't you always say a gun is a woman's best friend?" And it's like such cliche bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's nothing to it. Then scene's over, fixed.
Done. She's gone. She walks out triumphantly because she
like,
got this Midwesterner.
The only hurdles anyone has to pass are ones that are just arbitrarily they're just built up in the character's head that you can't see. So it's like, I'm really unsure about this. I'm unsure about buying this van, but you don't know that because nothing to show, right?
Really,
it's all in her head.
Really, it was,
and it's fixed immediately.
The women thought that they couldn't do it.
Right.
That's the only person who thought they couldn't do it was the women. That's the only people.
It would have been interesting even if like say I don't even know, and it makes no sense for this to happen, but like what if the Polish chick's like kind of wacky and she goes to steal a purse or something? Like that's how we are introduced to her character. She's stealing a purse and gets caught like basic shoplifting. And then it's like, "Oh my god, this person's going to rob a Colin Farrell later for $2 million?" Like that's crazy because she can't even steal a purse. But no, they're just great at everything they do always.
And then like that would have worked out really well because there was like a big part of it was the Polish woman, her mom is like, which I mean, I'm not shitting on anyone who does this because this is a very common thing. And I thought about it as well in my past, but I never like seriously, like a fun thing. But like, so the mom is like, you should go on this website for sugar daddies, and you're 8 foot tall, gorgeous ass Polish woman. You'll get wifed up, sugar daddied up like in a minute, and they just like buy you shit, and sometimes you have to have sex with them. But like the Polish woman is like 100% like, I will not do that, mom. You can't. And then the mom hits her, of course, because why why would she not hit her? She can't just speak to her like she's her mom and she cares about her. She has to fucking hit her like everyone else in her life.
Yeah.
But then the next scene, oh, what didn't you know? She's going on a sugar daddy date.
And she has a...
So she really stuck to her convictions there, didn't she?
But then she also has like a great first experience.
Yeah, she likes this guy. He's fine.
Yeah, she like wants to be in a relationship with the dude right away. Like he's not like some
like
asshole.
Creepy fat asshole.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're totally different than your profile. This is weird. Or
He's not like a Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah,
He's like
he's
John Krasinski.
he's just like he's the nice dude from Inception who messes up the first Inception and gets kicked out of the team that they have to bring Ellen Page in to replace. He's just a dorky kind of dude, and that's it. I guess maybe you're supposed to be like, well, he's kind of like nerdy and businessy, but it's like, okay, this seems fun. Like,
and so
you can make more money doing this, I guess, if you're into it. With this guy, he puts her on like a retainer too, seemingly.
And so we learn, like, in this date that he's really into architecture. So then whenever Viola Davis needs the Polish woman to figure out the blueprints to this thing, of course she goes to this guy and is like, what do you know about this? But that would have worked out perfectly, because if he was some kind of asshole slob that she hated, then it would have actually meant something for her to go back and be like, I can't believe I have to go talk to this guy. Oh, but he's like a cute, rich, handsome man.
Well, no, and she doesn't. There isn't even like a moment of sort of like, will he or won't he? Because he sees the plane. He's like, oh, is that a safe house? And she's like,
well,
is that what it is? And it's like, what? Okay. Like, there's no moment of like her nervously like, oh, like maybe, I don't know, like figuring out a heisty setup way to like not show off the exact plans and show it like printed off somewhere and like pretending it's like somewhere else and being like, oh, my friend's looking to build this thing, but she thinks it's like the wrong plan because her husband's dumb. And he's like, well, that looks like a safe house. Like, yeah, they're building a safe house for their thing. It's like, yeah, I know a bunch of those. And it could have been like very like, who knows, suspenseful. That could have been like an interesting thing, but that's what's insane, because Steve McQueen, the director, is good at that.
And so
like,
is Gillian Jacobs, the writer.
Theoretically,
Sharp Objects, and Gone Girl.
She's good at, I guess, taking her time and writing novels. But man, screenplays are not. I guess people are better off adapting her stuff. But like it did come down to like the script. Like that script was not good, and that was her and Steve McQueen. So whichever one of those two, man, they because it even comes with a fancy twist too that you're just like after so you're just thinking like, okay, this movie has to get good soon, right? And
it's been like an hour and a half. What is happening?
And she's been carrying around this dog for best actor in the movie. The dog.
He's famous.
He is. He was in a couple movies, but
wait, you have to talk about the flask first.
I don't even know what to do anymore.
Give like any background to any of this, okay?
So you're just supposed to believe that they have the best relationship of all time.
He's in the couch.
Oh my God!
Not even outside,
these cats are in the couch.
So there's this like
just in the setup,
right?
It's just like them making out disgustingly.
Right. That's the first thing.
Never show that ever in movies because that's disturbing.
Okay, but that's what I'm talking about. So, like, we don't really know why he does this, and if you know online, please illuminate us. I'm still gonna hate it, but at least I'll have an answer. So, like, Liam Neeson is in the shower and he's thinking real hard about something, and then Viola Davis comes in, and like Liam Neeson steps out of the shower, the completely glass-walled shower where you can see outside of it.
Not expensive at all.
Right, and he leaves the shower running. You can hear it in the background. He just steps out of it. And then Viola Davis holds up his flask and pours a shot into the lid, and then like he looks at it, like make sure there's stuff in there.
Smells it.
Right. And then she takes the shot. Okay, so we don't know why that happens. We're all supposed to just make it up in our head, like what it means.
And then he
to
like
us.
smells it on her lips and like kisses her lips and stuff.
But
so
he also could have done that in the shower. You know, like he could have just
I
watched
know.
her take the shot in the shower.
Well, no.
That just makes me angry because I don't want you to get me out of the shower just so you can take a shot in my face.
But the reason they showed that was to set up the flask.
And that happens early on.
Way early on.
Early.
But I what I believe is that it is a pre-heist ritual, but he doesn't want to drink to get drunk.
Ritual.
I think it's pre-heist because he's getting ready and doesn't want to get drunk, but he still wants the ritual of like doing the shot with his wife that he cares so much about, I guess. Right? Even though things change at the end.
How we see the flask. So like wait, I have one more thing to say. So like a whole film happens and we don't see the flask. We don't see Liam Neeson go on his heist with the flask.
Should have been buried with the flask.
Right. We don't see this flask at all ever again. So you would assume last time you saw Viola Davis, she takes a shot in the house with the flask.
Right.
Your mind has to think
he goes on the heist, he explodes.
It's gone, or it stays in the house with Viola Davis, because that's where the flask is. It's either with him and it exploded, or it's in the house where I think it was supposed to be with Viola.
Right. Cats.
He's gonna jump on top of that. All right, so let's talk about the flask and the dog. This is the big thing. This is the big reveal. Everyone, get ready. It's coming.
So, I'm putting together the heist. I guess. They need a driver. Wouldn't you know, Joe, littlest cat. He's looking to jump on the entertainment stand. Anyway, they need a driver for the heist. So it just so happens old Viola Davis has a driver, which she's not rich at all. Oh, there he is, back from trying to jump on everything. Thank you, Joe. What are you doing? Exactly. Come here, Joe.
I don't know why you're talking about the driver. We're talking about the.
But they need more people to round out the heist. They need more people to round out the heist. So she goes over to the other friend's house.
Yeah. Hasn't agreed to be a part of it because she has a baby.
Right. And she's also only in one other scene, so they didn't pay her enough to be in the rest of the movie.
Also, she's Margot from Gone Girl with a haircut.
So she goes over her house and she's acting all cagey, and she's like, "Oh, it's not a good time, and I don't want to." But of course, old Viola Davis brings over a dog because she's in there and has the dog in every scene. Puts the dog down. Dog goes to the closet, bathroom, other room, door, and starts sniffing at it and getting all excited. And then old what's her face goes over and is like, "Oh no, what is behind there? A bunch of steaks."
On the table.
Well, no, she goes back to investigate what hopefully is a room full of steaks that the dog got really excited by, or ground beef, or maybe some sort of dog milk bones. But nope, she looks over and sees the flask is there, and instead of opening that door and seeing her husband, who's been dead, alive in some other lady's closet, she's like,
I don't need to see what is behind this door.
I'm just gonna walk away slowly.
I'm okay without the answer to this mystery.
Yeah, I know my dead husband's behind this door. Maybe this lady dug up his corpse and he's here. I don't need to know about this. And then just leaves. And then as she leaves, the other lady comes out and opens the door, and of course Liam Neeson's hiding there like, "Oh, is she gone yet?" Like,
which wouldn't that have been such a better scene if Viola Davis opened the door and then saw Liam Neeson there and was like, "What the f-"
Or just went, "I'm gonna pull this heist without you."
Well, what if she just pulled a gun out of her bag and was like, "Bam"?
Yeah, I mean, anything would have been more interesting, of course.
Instead, it was like, "Oh, you're hiding." Oh,
so it has to be very meditative and like, I'm deeply hurt by this. Let me go plan this heist, even though my dead husband is
let's
alive.
just say maybe Liam Neeson wasn't the bad guy, and maybe he got away somehow, and maybe Viola Davis opened the door and they had a reunion, and then he was like, "I'll help you with this heist."
That could have been, and then she would have been like, "Yeah, you can, but I'm in charge." And he goes, "I didn't know that you would be in charge. I didn't know you could heist. I didn't even know." But it requires months of planning. She's like, "I already planned it with Michelle Rodriguez and that tall bitch."
And then he would have been like, "But I told you to sell that book. And she would have been like, no, you fucking didn't. And I didn't sell it anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
One more plot point that we forgot to introduce is that somehow throughout this film, they managed to have a teenage son who, wow, wouldn't you know, got shot by the cops because he didn't put his hands up when he got stopped for Liam Neeson in his car. And it was just like, why do you have to add this to this film that's already about politics and women? And you have to add some hands up, don't shoot garbage right in front of Obama posters.
Yeah, that was subtle. That was a subtle. That was a very subtle scene. Oh my God.
I haven't been this fired up about a film in a very long time.
And the scene's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But also, I get it. Yeah, black kids get killed all the time by cops. We know that.
But now it's just something you put in your film to make money.
But it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. If that happens in a couple's life, that movie is totally different. There's different motivations. Viola Davis's life is very different. Like, I don't even know if the marriage would have like survived. They wouldn't. I don't think they would be so like passionate in the beginning. Like, I think there would be like a insanely like intense like just depression and just like on your mind always that your teenage son got murdered for some years, at least 3 years ago. Like, how is it only brought up in this one flashback and then just sort of like, well, we know what happened to, what was his name, Mason or something, or I don't even remember. But it happens so quick, and it's just for shock. It's just literally for a moment where the kid's like, yeah, I'm taking my dad's car. It's not registered to me. Oh, they're pulling me over because I did an illegal U-turn in a car that is not mine, that my white dad owns, and I am half black. So optics not great, but I know shouldn't shoot people. Of course. Kid has a phone that could be mistaken for whatever. Shouldn't shoot the guy for having a cell phone. I get it. But also, they make it so, and he lunges across with it, and it's just... It's set up so poorly that it's like, yeah, don't shoot the guy. But also it's like selling it for complete, like the way you shoot that more sympathetically is the kid at least like trying to beg or something, anything where it's like him being like, oh, I get it, officer. I'm just reaching for the, and then they shoot him. But it's done without any sort of emotion behind it. It's all just like, no, yeah, cops, that's what they do. Anytime they pull over a young kid, yeah, they shoot them. Two cops go and they shoot them. And it's also, just like...
It's also like the way that it was filmed because, so like, this is the car that we're in is the car and Donnie is, I don't care. So one of us is the driver, okay? So like, from this angle, you might have had any kind of connection with his soul by looking into his eyes. But the way that it was filmed was way the back here in an aerial shot looking at the back of everyone's head.
Yeah, because they want to get all the pow, 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 pow after they shoot him like 15 times. And it's like, oh, I get it. It's a ultra violent scene. And yeah, that is a powerful scene.
But maybe at least give it here, you would have like seen like him getting shot multiple times while he was just trying to reach his
yeah,
it's just it was like the back of him.
Yeah, they took it so for granted because they knew like, okay, that's all we need. Young black kid getting shot by police. Done.
In front of Obama posters.
Okay, done. Don't need to think about that anymore. Okay, empowering women. They're good at heist. Keep it going. Politicians are bad. White politicians are bad. Black politicians, even though they are represented as the villain of the movie, they're good.
They're like killing two people in a gym, and they're
shaking down people and threatening people.
And she's innocent, but
so
they're still like
all politicians are bad. Let's put a question mark by that.
Let's never talk about it again because then it would complicate the script that we're already filming.
Yeah. So it's a full. This movie is a mess because it's filled with so many things. Just stick if you're making the female heist movie. Stick with the heist stuff. That's complex enough.
There was also like talking about the boy one more time. So in the only other flashback that we see of this boy, which was completely pointless of a flashback, and I wish I would have actually. So like I'm gonna say one thing before I say what I'm saying.
Whoa.
At the end of the film, money is distributed and Viola Davis wants to give her money to a library and name it after her son. So maybe we got one flashback of him being brutally murdered in a really impersonal way. Maybe the next flashback is like how he likes to read or how he wanted to be a writer or how he was tutoring kids in Spanish or something. But no, the other flashback is have like extreme close-ups of him in the coffin and Viola Davis is putting a white glove on his hand.
Right.
So what does that
mean? I got it.
What does that mean? What does that... The only other time we see your kid that was murdered, that came to almost adulthood and was brutally murdered by cops, the only other time we see him, you're putting a white glove on his hand in the casket. So what does that mean, Steve McQueen? Because I don't get it. What
Maybe
does
it's
that
a
mean?
British thing.
Because it's like his innocence is the white glove, or like his mother's love is the white glove, or like protection. But that didn't work.
He really liked Mickey Mouse.
Or like Mickey Mouse. Maybe did he like Mickey Mouse, and that's why you put a white glove on his hand in the coffin? What were you trying to tell me with that scene? She was mourning, and so she put a white glove on his hand in the coffin. I just don't get why that was what you wasted a flashback scene.
I got you. What they should have done was keep him alive until Liam Neeson dies. And then he gets shot by cops. And that's the motivation for her to be like, you know what? I'm going to rob this politician because his cops killed my son. And I'm going to rob this guy. Because we said it before, but it's Colin Farrell that they're robbing the $2 million from. And his racist dad. But that would have been interesting if the motivation for her to then do the pull off his heist is the kid, and like it's like, look, that's it, that's the last straw. She's broken mentally. She's doing this thing. She doesn't care if she's getting caught. That would have been much more interesting, wouldn't it?
What I think would have been interesting.
Okay,
is that,
it's not interesting at all.
No, that would have been great. But me personally, in the film that I have made up, Pete, it's fine. It's okay. He got angry.
He wants to dig.
So
There's
what
something
I
back
think would have been interesting, if you have to have the kid, keep the kid alive. You know, don't make him die ever. And then maybe he could have like been against you doing the heist, Viola.
Yeah,
You'd be like, Mom, we could just sell some of the stuff that we own. You know, like, what are you doing? You can't go into crime like Dad did, because then I'm going to lose you too when I care about you.
That's an interesting thing too.
But instead,
that would have been some stakes.
Yeah, like maybe she doesn't want to lose her son because she already lost her husband, but she has to avenge her husband's fucking life of crime.
Either way you cut it, there's no reason for this. But I didn't think they had the balls to pull off and that is the single worst piece of dialogue I've ever heard in a movie.
It's almost like having a child and losing it like doesn't make you empowered, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can only be empowered by doing a heist that your husband planned, not by having a child and having it murdered.
Well, I'm just talking specifically about that one line.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's awful. I'm just saying,
that is the worst line I've probably ever heard in a movie. Ever.
Yeah. Like, I can see how every character was empowered separately without doing this heist.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez just had kids.
She had kids in a shop that she loved. Make it about that.
Yeah.
The Polish girl wanted to get out of soft prostitution. Make it about that. She had an abusive relationship. There you go. Viola Davis lost her husband and her kid. Make it about that. But don't make it about some heist that lasted for 5 minutes and then they got out clean, and then it didn't even matter because Colin Farrell won the election anyway. So the other guy that was shaking him down didn't even have any power at the end.
It's not
pointless.
It's not a fun movie.
It's a dumb movie.
It's not a good movie, but it's 95% Rotten Tomatoes
is garbage.
Yeah. It's it's a bunch of people just not even watching. I think it's a bunch of people that watch a trailer or just like read about it and see the cast and they're like, yeah, it's diverse. You know, we need more female leads. Let's do it. Looks great. Pass. And you're just like, yeah, did you see the movie? They're like, no. Who has time to watch the movie? You're going to go to a theater and have some ladies yell about like, oh, he ain't dead. What? See what? Oh, he ain't dead. And it's like, we just saw that.
These are viewers who, they did talk throughout the film. And I understand that, but it wasn't like
Fun.
it wasn't like a dramatic talking. Like when what was that movie that we saw that was
The
really
Meg.
quiet? We saw The Meg, and it was like dramatic talking because it was a comedy and they were kids, and it was like nothing
Yeah, it's
else
dumb.
really, it was just like haha. But like these people, I think they were really searching for a meaning in this. So the second that Liam Neeson came back on the screen, they were like, oh my God, something has happened to this film that I actually care about.
Oh, and at the very end, when there's the confrontation between Viola Davis and Liam Neeson, because he's back, and he's like, well, I got to take the money, I guess. And then they pull the whole most
Cliche.
terrible.
Textbook.
It's the worst thing you can do, where the one guy exits frame, and then Viola Davis gets thrown to the ground, and then he's gonna shoot her, but then you only see a little bit of him. You don't see her, and then the gunshot, and then
the camera reveals.
She shot me. But our amazing audience was like, oh, like that was made for them, because immediately they're like, oh girl, you shot him. And then the whole time while they're pulling out and revealing, it's like, oh, she shot him first, because she had a gun. Because remember what she had the gun.
She shot him.
Because she shot him.
You get him.
So you did.
Oh, girl.
And like they're back just like talking like at a fever pitch, and we're just like, yeah, everyone knows this is a terrible movie. I'm glad that like.
I wasn't even happy when Liam got killed.
Nothing is happy.
Nothing made me happy.
Nothing was
except
good.
For the Polish girl, and
Yeah.
that was only because she was 8 foot tall, gorgeous, and good at everything that she did.
No, and at least, and she's the gold chick from Guardians, so at least she has like.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
She's the gold chick.
The main gold.
She's the I forget.
She's like the main one.
The high priestess chicken
God,
too.
I love her.
Yeah, that's her. So at least in her expressions, she has like a little bit of like quirkiness of like,
Joe.
I'm having fun.
Joe.
I'm not completely serious. Joe, you're ruining this. He wants the food. We only have 9 minutes left. I'm gonna feed Joe. Wrap this up because I'm with you too. Polish chick was the best. Viola Davis, one note. Michelle Rodriguez is angry mom.
Okay.
Liam Neeson.
But there's also
guy.
There's also, can you even imagine, viewers? There's an entire part of this like film that we didn't even touch upon. There's henchmen, and there's Colin Farrell, who has a whole thing, and like Colin Farrell's dad, who has a whole thing, and then like Liam Neeson, and all these things that. So in this movie, they tried to have politicians and henchmen and a dead son because of cops,
Black Lives Matter,
an abused Polish girl, and Viola Davis, who got double crossed by Liam Neeson, and Michelle Rodriguez, who owns a dress shop, and like
and Second Amendment showing how guns are so good, easy to get, and all that
Margot
shit
from Gone Girl, who has a baby with
she has
some
a
guy
kid.
who's not her husband, and
flasks.
And then there's this a girl that
gentrification.
Wait, no, stop. There's another girl who's
We
a
have 7
hairdresser
minutes.
we didn't talk about the girl who's a hairdresser who becomes like the transport on this thing, because we didn't talk about Bash, who was like a main character.
I talking about the
had
driver.
pill bottles, and it's just like, this fucking just make one movie about one thing, and then
a heist maybe.
And then they did all this shit, and they're like, it's about women.
It's about empowering women because we got.
Because the cast is like a lot of women, so it must be about women.
Yeah, it's great.
We can't find meaning.
Don't pay attention to it. Just make an article saying how great it is.
About women.
And then hopefully we can make 80,000 more of these movies, and no good movies ever get made. And I hope Steve McQueen understands what he did and leaves. And that's how I knew we were.
Women so powerful.
That's how I knew.
Beautiful and smart. Aren't women great? Aren't women so empowering? Aren't women just capable of everything? Women. Oh, women. Oh, women. I love women. Oh, vagina. Oh, boobs. Oh, women. I just love women.
Okay, you said it, not me. I knew we were in trouble whenever the director has to come on after the previews and before the movie to be like, look, I'm Steve McQueen. And I really liked making this movie.
Oh, but he had like blooper reel.
Even though you already paid money to go see my movie, please enjoy my movie.
Thank you for coming to see my movie.
And it's like, oh no. they want us to have a personal relationship with the director so we don't shit on his movie. This is going to be terrible. So anyway, best movie of the year, Widows, starring Viola Davis and a dog, I guess.